The biggest code breaks in history were never announced when they happened. Britain read Germany's secrets for years, and Germany didn't find out for 30 years. The side that loses is almost always the last to know. So if you're waiting for Q Day, some date on a calendar when quantum computers break encryption and the whole world finds out, that day is never coming. The day your encryption breaks, the world stays quiet. You find out far too late, or you never find out at all. And whether that costs you everything or nothing comes down entirely to what you do in the years before it, starting right now. I'm LaMarr. I've spent 15 years in cybersecurity, all of it revolving around cryptography, 8 of those years as a cryptographer in the US Air Force, then advising CISOs at the FBI and the Department of Justice, and contributing to NIST policy on protecting the government's highest value systems. Now I run LaMarr Labs, where I advise security leaders and their boards through the quantum transition, mapping their cryptographic risk, setting a real migration timeline, and building the plan their board will actually fund. This channel is where I make that whole transition actually make sense. Maybe you own the risk at the top, a CISO or security leader whose board is starting to ask the hard questions. Or you might be an architect or engineer who has to actually build the migration itself. Perhaps you're earlier in your career and you've realized that getting ahead of this is how you future-proof your career. I built this channel because post-quantum cryptography got buried under academic papers and people trying to sound like the smartest person in the world. That gatekeeping locks out the people who actually have to make the decisions. None of this is beyond you. It was just never explained by someone whose job is to make it clear instead of to sound impressive. I spent my career on both sides of that gap, doing the work and making the risk decisions. So that's what you'll get here, the clear version built for the people who have to actually act on it. Every video takes one piece of the transition and makes it usable. What breaks and what survives, why it's a multi-year program instead of a single purchase, and how to tell a real quantum-safe posture from a random marketing claim. In plain language with the math left out and the pseudo-intellectualism left at the door. I've also built free resources you can use today. I've published my personal notes as a field guide, which is a public map of the whole transition you can walk at your own pace, wherever you're starting from. There's a newsletter for people navigating this in the real world, and there are board-ready resources like memo templates and checklists, which are totally free, no email required. And honestly, part of it's selfish. My data lives in the same systems yours does, and none of it stays safe if the people defending it can't get a straight answer about this. So subscribe and start wherever you are. Dig into the field guide, take what's useful, and get yourself ahead of all of this. And when your board needs a plan they'll fund and a risk position they can defend, that's what I'm brought in to build at LaMarr Labs. You'll find it in the description.